I used to terrorize this town when I was a kid, and he and I are going to show you why Fort Langley is the best place to raise your family.
If Vancouver had a charming little cousin, it'd be Fort Langley. This place is stacked with local eats and caffeine options. We're talking bakeries, cafes, restaurants, and local shops. You've got to check out Blacksmith Bakery, Wendell's Coffee and Bookstore, and Saba Bistro. It's classy comfort food that hits every time. Add in Little Donkey burritos, Republica coffee, Trading Post beer, and there's gelato on standby. There's always a fun eatery down some funky alley.
You know, when I grew up in Fort Langley, I had a pet crow, found it in our front yard, a little baby, and we nursed it and raised it. I taught it how to fly, and then I had it ride on my shoulder, and he would ride with me like into town. But he stole my loonie once. He always liked shiny things, and so he would always squawk and like want, and so I'd give him my loonie. And then one time he flew away and dropped on top of the roof of a house, and that was my pool money, so I can go to the pool. So I had to go home.
Now, if you've got kids, the schools are solid. There's Fort Langley Elementary and Langley Fine Arts, which is actually cool. There are parks, soccer fields, community gardens, baseball diamonds, and yes, kids still ride their bikes around here like it's the 90s.
So when I was a kid, I used to ride my bike all over Fort Langley, and I remember bombing through this park one time, and I totally bailed on my bike, like over the handlebars, just soared it right over. I hit a root or something, and my knuckles are still also scarred up from it, but it was a pretty wild time. Just like when my dog ran into a tree here one time. All sorts of crazy stuff happened in this park. Like, see, I still got scars right there. Do you see them? Do they show up on camera, or am I just making this up now? So the two schools here, Fort Langley Elementary, which is over that way, and then Langley Fine Arts. I went to Langley Fine Arts, and we used to always have a little bit of a rivalry going on. And I remember Fort Langley did this like massive mural on their thing, and then one night my buddies and I went over there and we kind of vandalized it, like painted on it or whatever. And my buddy Josh had to clean it up. He went to that school, and he was all mad at me when he found out it was me who did it. But there's a statute on these things, right? Like, I hope, because.
And then there's the heritage vibe. Fort Langley was literally one of BC's first settlements. So it's got that old soul with photogenic, historic homes, movie set energy, and just enough tourists to feel cool, but not crowded.
This is one of the most filmed buildings in Langley, actually. You might have seen it in a bunch of movies. You know who I saw here?
Who?
JTT, Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Ooh. Do you know who that is?
I don't.
All the girls were, okay. How about Air Bud? All 37 Air Buds were filmed here.
I do know Air Bud, and I also know that Sonic the Hedgehog was.
Yes, and that's where my kids love, is the fact that Sonic was filmed right on these streets. There was a tank just over there, like a couple years ago.
And Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey! He was here in the flesh.
Fort Langley also does community events right. There's a Cranberry Festival, a May Day parade, food trucks, markets. Basically, there's always something happening somewhere in town.
So Mary Tess and I, we got in our first argument during the May Day parade out in the street there. I wanted to cross the parade route because my friends were across the street. She didn't want to cross, but I made her cross in between floats, and she hated it. And then we had free hot dogs later on at a church down the road, and I spilled mustard on my shirt, and I love that shirt.
You would, I believe that story. Oh, and for my outdoorsy friends, this place is unreal. The Fort to Fort Trail is gorgeous. You've got Riverside Walks, Houston Trail, and Derby Reach nearby, and the Fraser River is right there for kayaking, boating, or fishing for salmon and sturgeon.
So we're walking at the head of the Fort to Fort Trail here, and it's pretty neat. The reason why it's called Fort to Fort Trail is because the fort that you see in Fort Langley is not the original fort. There was one actually that was built way down 4 kilometers down the road, but it burned down, I think, in 1827 or so, and then they rebuilt in 1840 down here. And the river now is over where the old site used to be. So right behind me here is Bedford Landing, and when I was a kid, it didn't exist here. It was actually just a big sawmill. And I used to sneak in there all the time and then have these big, like, burly logging guys come running and chasing us down the tracks. Like, you can't be in here. We got so many things out of the trucks. Like, oh, I probably shouldn't tell the story.
No, let's save that for after.
Yeah, so this used to be a big mill, but now it's one of the most desirable neighborhoods in the whole Fraser Valley.
Like to golf? Fort Langley Golf Course is solid, and Redwoods and Belmont are just a quick 2-minute drive away.
So when I was like a kid, the fort used to be free to go into, and we used to take our Nerf guns in there, and like there's like little turrets and stuff over there, and we used to shoot each other, and then the staff would chase us out. They're like, that wasn't in the 1800s. You can't bring that here. And do all this stuff. And then I used to do like LARPing. like live action role play.
No, you didn't.
When I went to fine arts, they needed acting students. And so then we would do like reenactment scenes and stuff like that. And so I got to wear all like these 1800s clothes and
My goodness.
I know.
I can get down with the Nerf guns, not so much the LARPing.
If you're into it, it's a great place.
Bottom line, if you're looking for a walkable lifestyle with some historic charm, Fort Langley might be your next move.
So if you're a retiree, a young family, or somewhere in between, and you're looking to move here, I'd be happy to show you around.